I was having coffee. We were coffee and espressos. It's like back in Paris days.
Yeah,
Just
that's
doing,
right.
doing espresso, having a good time.
Awesome. Nick, Moto Online.
Yeah, thanks, DB. Hey, let's go all three of you real quickly. Opening lap like that. From the second you get on the track, you know, you haven't had a sight lap, you don't know what the bike's going to do. Take me through that first lap and sort of how you guys go about it.
I held on for dear life, and we just went for it. I mean, you know, there's no parade lap, no nothing. And honestly, it's like what Justin said. I stayed pretty relaxed throughout this whole thing because that is just stuff that's out of your control. And of course, you got to stay ready. And I wanted to make sure that I enjoy this because anything can happen. It can really play in your favor, or it can be the total opposite. So you just got to roll with it. And then once I grabbed a really good start. I just had my body kind of up and took off. Chase did too. Justin did too. And then you kind of... What made this tricky is that it's so hard pack underneath that the bike actually sometimes accidentally like hooked up like crazy. So definitely took some getting used to. But I actually thought in the beginning it was super rideable compared to the end. I mean, the ruts just got deeper and it was a lot sloppier, plywood and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much same. Yeah, the plywood. We were down to plywood a lot of corners. I mean, obviously you can't do nothing with that. The track guys couldn't do anything. It just happens because we're digging deep. But yeah. Just send it. That's the send it, but also don't crash. So there's a fine line.
Yeah, I mean, I just think about trying to get through those first couple of straightaways with clean vision. Like that's a huge part of the race is getting through the first turn and the first rhythm lane without like destroying your vision. So that's at least my mindset with these races.
Thanks, DB. Cheers.
Zach Newberry from Imperative MX. This question is for Eli Tomac. It seemed like halfway through the main event, you started to find your groove a little bit and start to catch up the Roxon. Was there anything, did you find good lines or what was it?
It was just, I don't know. I just found a good flow. And then I actually stopped jumping the finish line for a while and then went back to jumping it. So maybe I made a little bit time up when I was doing that. I'm not sure when Kenny, stopped jumping it or what happened, but I think I was making a lot of time there. And then, yeah, just it's just so yo-yo with these races. You never know what you're going to get. But overall, bike was good. It was solid. Was able to manage the clutch well and, was able to do my thing.
Another question for Ken Roxon. Speak about the case on the finish line.
I mean, the finish line jumped me pretty much. That's how bad it was. I mean, in the air, I literally was expecting my hands to rip off my handlebars and I was going to land on the other takeoff. And I held on for dear life, so that was good. But that did really mess up my goggles. I mean, all my sweat just went in there, and I don't even know. I had to take my goggles off. And as soon as I did too, Dino Wilson, he crashed right in front of me, and he laid it over and held the bike wide open, and it roosted me straight into my eye. So I had a huge clod right here. I've been messing with my eye the whole time. So that was frustrating because in these conditions you want to at least be able to see, but that was tough there for a little bit, and that case was brutal. Not gonna lie.
Thank you, guys.
Grace with Speed Sport.
Thanks, Grace Helping of Speed Sport. This one is for Ken. Ken, you said when you won in Indy that you weren't just going to kind of expect podiums to start happening. And I know the track conditions tonight were a little different, but now you have back-to-back podiums. Do you feel like your expectations for yourself have kind of changed since then?
I just podiums. That's my goal every time we go. And I know that was a bit of a thin streak there for a bit. Like I wasn't anywhere near the podium for a few races, but it seems like in the second half we kept tweaking with the bike and we just keep hitting that spot on. Once you have a base setting, you can make a little change and it's either better or not. So it's a lot easier to kind of direct where you want to go. So that helped out a lot. We even made a little change coming into this weekend, which I really liked. That was great. And then of course with the mud, it's like I said, it can work against you, it can work with you. And we were just solid tonight. I have to really give it up to the team actually because I never even adjusted my clutch or anything like that. The bike held strong, and I just felt pretty good out there. And of course, we all yo-yo a little bit, and sometimes we, towards the end of the ride, I was starting to ride worse just because I did crash, and I tried to I buried it in the mud, like it was like suction cup to the ground, and I kept holding on to the clutch and to my throttle to try and pick it up. Well, my throttle was in the mud, but I was trying to pick it up, but I almost couldn't get it up, and that sounded wrong, but I almost couldn't get the bike up, and I just wanted to hold on to the clutch because you know how it is out there with not electric start. So I just held on to it, and we made it happen. That's all that matters.
Thank you. And then I have one for Justin. Justin, tonight this was the second ever 450 Supercross win for Gas Gas. You obviously brought it its first win back in 2021. In light of your contract extension with them, can you kind of just talk about the team dynamics that have developed over the years and just kind of what works for you and Gas Gas?
Yeah, Troy Lee is just a rad guy. He loves the sport. I remember got my first one at Gas Gas, and Troy said that's made his life. Like, that was the best moment of his life. And Troy Lee, like, that dude's had some moments in his life. Like, so that was special. He's just a good guy, loves the sport. Gas Gas, they came on board and they're putting everything into it. And, I was the guy to be with the team and do this, and it's awesome. I'm proud to have those guys behind me, and honestly, it's been a match made in heaven. It's been really enjoyable, really fun. Obviously, motorsports is very difficult. There's hard times, but everyone works together. We have a really good crew right now, just a solid team. We have fun, we put in the work, and we love racing dirt bikes. So that's about it, really. And we got Austria behind us, and they've really stepped up. Since Gas Gas came aboard, and they're doing a great job. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, thank you both, and congrats to you all.
Okay. Hi, this is Edwin for FIA Latin America, host Kepar TV. Congratulations, Ryder, for such a good race. This is for Eli Thomas. Eli Thomas, at this point, what's going to be your strategy for keep alive your championship? Because maybe you're looking for more races to win, or you want to keep your average, your what am I saying, like your strategy to keep doing just a running point.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is just to take it weekend by weekend and try to finish in front of Cooper and Chase, and that's all you can do is literally weekend by weekend. So many things can happen. I mean, just like my crash today in qualifying was very unexpected. So that's where you can't get too far ahead with yourself. But you gotta take advantage, while you can, and we were able to do that tonight.
Thank you.
Brock Bridges.
Hey guys, fun evening for the fans tonight and us watching for sure. Much more difficult on y'all's end. Justin, the 6th 450 win. It's probably hard to rate, your wins as far as, from your perspective. You had the 2 early career wins, the 3 openers, and now this one. Can you rank them in your head? Like, what was your, favorite or best moment of those 6?
Honestly, tonight was special. To have my wife, my son, that's, it doesn't really, I don't know if it gets much better than that. Tonight was a good feeling. Honestly, that last lap was unique. Just a lot of emotions going on, and man, we just work really hard. I've really worked hard on myself this year to just try to be an all-around better racer. I've always, my career, I've been a little bit overly wild sometimes. Not like, not party or stuff like that, but just on the track. I ride with a lot of heart, and sometimes it doesn't go my way, but just really worked on myself this year. Just want to set an example for my son growing up. Obviously, he doesn't know yet, but this one is probably quite up there, maybe the best one, but I hope to have a lot more to come.
That's awesome. Real quick for all of you, maybe y'all have a thought on this, maybe not. Just curious about Max Anstey. If y'all, maybe y'all know him. He had a big win. Just, any thoughts on that tonight? And then that's it.
I thought it was rad. I mean, I think this was his first one, and also for Yariv and the Firepower Honda team. They deserve it. He's been riding good all year, and I'm extremely stoked for him, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely epic. Yariv is puts a lot into the team. He's not here that often, and I know he was actually here. I saw him earlier. So, man, what a special moment. We've all been there, so that's really cool. And for Max, seems like a really nice kid. He's a hard racer, and for him to kind of go from Europe, come back here, and just give it his all and get that win tonight. And he's British, so I like the British people. My wife's British, but it's cool. Hopefully, I don't think his family was here, but I bet he can't wait to get home and see them and celebrate. It's rad.
Yeah, it's awesome for him. I mean, you know he's going to be super good in that condition in the mud. So yeah, there's nothing like winning a Supercross.
Jamie, bottlenecks.
Yeah, I came into this a couple minutes late, so I hope this didn't get asked. But Eli, with the way the day started with the crash and then the weather conditions, this night could have turned completely different for you in this championship. In the end, you got a podium. How does this podium feel considering what could have happened?
It just feels good. It feels good. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I like the first 30 minutes, my knee was pretty stiff, and but anyway, it got better. Honestly, the more I rode, the better it got. So I don't know, it was just one of those things, man. I was like, just can't get ahead of yourself. Just try to take it weekend by weekend, and I mean, it was just the crash itself. It was literally the first lap of that practice, and you're kind of just doubling down the lane, and it tried to take me out. So I guess you just never know.
Yeah, for sure. And Kenny, you talked about the eye being red. We saw that on the podium once you threw your goggles. Was there ever a moment with a little bit of a lead you had you considered grabbing another pair?
No, that was actually not in my mind at all. I didn't really know. I mean, we had no pit boards, right? I saw my mechanic show me towards the end that I had a huge gap, but yeah, I don't know. That was seriously not in my mind. I was trying to make it through, and honestly, it was not me at all. It's more the other riders that when it got really tough, because a lot of the lines we go to the inside, or we just had a couple of ruts that everybody was using, so it's not like I could have completely gone out of that way, and I just tried the best I can to close my eyes, and yeah, but at first and foremost, once Dean crashed and it did hit me in the eye, it took me like 2 laps. I even actually took my muddy ass hand and kind of just went like that, because it felt like I had a full on gravel pit in my eye, and so I just tried to make it through. After that, I really struggled, just couldn't really see. My grips were so wet. The seat, I don't know. I just didn't want to case any jumps anymore, and I just was putting around. I kind of fell apart a little bit in the end, but that's part of this game, and the conditions like that, it can just ruin it. But still stoked to be on the podium, though.
Yeah, awesome. And Justin, just congratulations, man. Glad you got a win. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Ken, Justin, you're talking about how much the vibe is great at your team. Just talk about your team. It's new. You're getting on the podium pretty consistently now. What's the vibe? What's the atmosphere been like? Seems like you're having fun as well.
Absolutely. I'm truly loving it. When I first came on the team to even just now, how everybody pulls on the same string, and the environment, I don't know, every weekend it doesn't feel like I have to be here or there's any like weirdness going on. We literally all work together, and we make good bike changes, and I have to give it up to Matt, to our suspension guy. We have, with the little amount of time that we always have in between the races, he's done a really great job to set the bike up. I think we keep making steps forward, and the change that I made even coming into this weekend too was super good, and we just keep improving and improving. And I wish I would have had more time in the beginning of the season to just be there a little bit earlier. But for what it's worth, we keep getting on the podium here towards the later stages, and also my teammates are super rad. Every single one of them. It's a super fun environment, and everybody works together too. Same when it comes to settings. We just we're all an open book to each other, and yeah, it's a true team.
All right, guys, congratulations. Memorable night, and we'll see you in Nashville. We're going to roll into the Supercross Futures winner, Julian Beaumaire. Do want to mention, as a reminder, this was our St. Jude race.